Flat Bob says, I think the whole fight was just a big cash grab. Yeah, no doubt. Pinto Sack says, Bruce, have you ever played disc golf? I gotta say, I was not expecting that question. No, I have not. I mean, I've watched other people play, but I just, yeah, I haven't. I never have. I have played regular golf. I'm actually a big fan of golfing. I haven't gone as often as I wanted to, but haven't gone in a little bit. But Lord Zed said Netflix tried to sacrifice Mike Tyson and failed. Okay, now that's an interesting theory. I mean, Jake Paul did look kind of terrified the whole fight. Brittany says, but I think this is the point. Look at how these organized gangs are connected into national system. This corrupted our system. 99% of police corruption is from the money from the drug market. Well, see, it's not just corruption. I mean, we're dealing with pure incompetence as well. We're dealing top to bottom incompetence in addition to corruption. I mean, that's a huge issue. It's not one or the other. Truth Trillette says, I agree. Facebook, lots of people said the same thing in the comments of news and sports channels after. What are you referring to exactly? Mark Collins, do you think John Jones will fight Tom Aspinall? Okay, hold on. Let's do Tyson Paul, then we'll get into John Jones. I've also seen, I believe I've seen every single one of John Jones' UFC fights. Was his first fight in the UFC? Oh, Fox Hollow Farm, Herb Baumeister. Yeah, I do not have a file on that. I think... Okay, so you said you didn't bring it up? Somebody might have brought it up, but yeah. I don't have anything on that yet. Brittany says, people are waiting for the feds to come save him, and I don't think anyone is coming. So it will be humiliating for America for trusting their system that no longer serves the people. They serve themselves. Well, it's been like that for a really long time, actually. Decades and decades and decades. Oh, Truth Trillette says cash grab fight. Okay, well that's definite. Okay. So let's do a logical breakdown here. Big Pine Sailing asking, what is Jake Paul and why is he relevant? Okay. Oh wow, Run Boston Bear says, I've competed in 3 amateur disc golf world championships. Great sport. I've just never had a chance to play. Lord Zed says, Mike was in a wheelchair in the past, threw up blood. He has had health issues and is 58. Paul is pumped with roids. Netflix tried to make a real-life Rocky for Apollo Dies type movie to promote Jake. That'd actually be really dark and not surprising based on the owners of Netflix and the history of Netflix. Are we going down that Illuminati rabbit hole? Maybe we will. This is MINDSHOCK. Dewart says, very happy to see you back. I did tag you on my latest Idaho 4 live stream. Also did share some of your case homework. Mad respect from J-Rod on point. Wait, are you J-Rod on point? Dewart Entertainment Network? That's the first time I'm seeing this channel name, I believe. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff on your channel. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's break down the Tyson Paul fight here. So, let's do this in chronological order. I mean, we went over some of his training videos before. So, let's see here. I'll put up some highlights here. Hopefully we don't get copyright. This is, of course, fair use. I mean, we always have so much fair use going on. And I mean, it's kind of indisputable that this is fair use. Because everything about this is fair use while we do the fair use breakdown, all under the umbrella of fair use. The fair usury here is off the charts. Nothing but fair use. Alright, couple of clips here. I'll get them on the screen in a second so we can dissect this. Okay. Now again, people have always been bringing up, oh, he's too old, but look at his starting point. So let's say, you know, fighters start losing athleticism however many percent per year after the age of 30 or 35 or 40. The point at which Tyson starts losing that X percentage, I mean, it's so exponentially higher than anybody else. So at 58, that's like somebody else's 38. I think that point is lost on a lot of goofs. Like a lot of even so-called boxing aficionados seem to not understand that point. They're looking at only the number 58 without any context at all. So let's look at let's look at his training first, and then let's break down the fight. This is what the people want to see, so we'll start with that. Then we'll go to... Oh, then we have the philosopher's question, and then we'll jump to UFC and John Jones. That's the plan for now, and then we'll see how much time we got left. I'm sure we'll have some time. I'm sure we'll have some time for Seagal and Roller Jam. Oh man, I found so many Roller Jam VHS digitizations on all these random foreign websites online. So we do have quite a lot of Roller Jam footage to go over. Also, they should have got Steven Seagal for the ref in this fight to make it less shady. But, okay. So let's look at Tyson here. Okay. Let's what's going on here. I can't argue with that shirt. I really can't. I really can't. Actually, you know what? Let's make this comprehensive in true MINDSHOCK fashion. Let me bring up the most impressive boxing training clip I believe I've ever seen. If YouTube allows, give me a couple seconds here. Oh man, it's being really slow for some reason. Alright, here we go. Let's make this truly comprehensive. In typical MINDSHOCK fashion. Okay. I mean, this channel shouldn't be flagged since I didn't put up the Occult NASA Patches episode yet. Alright. So, let's actually look at Mike Tyson at 15 years of age. So this is only with about, what, 2 years of training or so. I mean, look at the speed here. I've actually never seen a boxer at any weight class faster than this. I mean, you can barely see his punches. And a lot of people are so dazzled by the arms, but watch his footwork. I mean, this is absolutely legendary footwork. Because he's moving around the body, or, I mean, obviously shadowboxing here, but he's moving around his opponent's body while doing this. So, and again, I've gone over this before. I actually did a podcast on the greatest boxer of all time. I'll get that back up shortly. In my opinion, it is none other than this man right here. So, in his prime, somewhere around anywhere between 87 and 89, I guess. I don't think there's anybody that could beat him, and I actually don't think there's anybody that he would even have that much trouble with. That includes Ali, that includes anybody. But look at this. This speed is just uncanny. I mean, nobody can handle that kind of speed and power. And head movement. I mean, just defensively and offensively. I mean, this guy, he doesn't get enough credit for his defense, but his defense is just unparalleled, in my opinion. I think it's better than Floyd Mayweather's. Oh, Dewart says, I did a channel rebrand. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, slow down the comments for a second. Let me catch up. Lord Zed says they tried sacking Mike. Pinto Sack says, yes, I'm addicted to disc golf. Mark Collins says, are you going to give us your opinion on philosophers like Nietzsche? Yeah, as soon as we, right after the breakdown of this fight here. AJ Forever saying, if you believe that fight was legit, I have a timeshare in Islamabad I'd like to talk to you about. We'll get into it in a moment. We'll get into it in a moment. Mark Collins says he never had a fight where he took damage until Buster Douglas, then Holyfield. Well, Holyfield, the damage via headbutts is not legal, so you can't. I went over all of this in the. Have you watched the Greatest Boxer of All Time podcast I had up on MindShock previously, Mark Collins? I went over all this. I mean, with his original corner, he's never lost a fight. So, you know, moving in, you know, dealing with Don King and going on drugs, etc. That's not prime Tyson. And he actually did have a fight where he took damage. He actually had some trouble with a rangier fighter, and I'll get into that with his issues with Paul that I noticed, a couple things I noticed. But a lot of people think he knocked everybody out in the first or second or third round, but he actually went to a decision with James Tillis in '86, and then he went to another decision with Mitch Green. Yeah, I mean, if you watch that Tillis fight, I mean, there was some adversity there. There was some adversity, and then also Jose Ribalta. That went the distance as well. And then James Smith again. That was '87 when he won the WBA heavyweight title, the unification title. He actually went to a decision with James Smith. That was after the Berbick fight. That was '87. So, it's not... And Tony Tucker also went to a decision. So it's not... I mean, other than... Those are pretty much the only fights that did, but... just the point is, a lot of goofs hallucinate that this was the first time he got out... The first time he got out of the... You know, second, third, fourth round was Buster Douglas, and that occurred in the 10th round. And let's not forget the extremely long count that a lot of brain-dead Tyson haters like to ignore, but that doesn't even really matter because that's not his original corner team. So he's never lost with his original corner team, even without Cuss D'Amato. So yeah, so he did face adversity against Tony Tucker, James Smith, and James Tillis in those decisions. So the Buster Douglas fight was not his first time out of the second or third round. But a lot of people are just very ignorant of his record and have not seen his fights and are just regurgitating what they heard from Gifts Online. Jeff Hunt says, I like Seagal because of Bruce mind-shocking him. Yeah, I got to get all of the Seagal podcasts back up, and, I mean, it's close to 30 hours of Seagal receipts, and we're not even done. I have more episodes I need to do. We didn't even get through all the receipts on Seagal. Miss Chicago, what are you talking about his butt? I must have missed that. I did not see that. I guess that was a good thing. What is everybody talking about? I mean, I just watched the fight. I didn't see anything weird. Was that after the fight? Or was that the weigh-in? What are you guys talking about? April 55 says Mitch would smoke PCP and get arrested for running through toll booths and not paying. He's a devout Christian now. That's interesting. Jeff Hunt says the only sparring done was during rehearsal. What are you talking about? April 55 says you should stream Samurai Cop. Wow. I haven't heard, I can't remember anybody mentioning that movie in such a long time. I don't even remember it. But yes, I do. Yes, I should. From my vague recollection, it was pretty awesome. But I mean, it's been probably 20 years since I've seen that. Probably more. Flat Bob says there's still another 30 hours or more coming on Seagal. Yeah, minimum. Minimum. AJ Forever says the freeze frame of Douglas when Tyson couldn't beat the count is iconic. Complete disbelief. Alright, so let's look at the training now. Let's look at the training here. So many years later, all these decades later. I mean, look at those. So let's watch his legs in the training. I don't know exactly when he injured his knee, but, I mean, look at this ferocity that was nowhere to be found in the fight. I mean, in the first round, and maybe this little bit of the second and third, we saw a little bit, but they were just, so he's wearing the knee brace here, but he seems to be okay with it, whereas in the fight, for some reason, he couldn't move well. I mean, look how he's moving around the body. For whatever reason, he wasn't able to do that in the fight. I mean, we'll get into the highlights of the fight in a moment and break that down. Yeah, I mean, his leg looks okay. I mean, look at this ferocity. And his legs look okay here, where they didn't in the fight. Dewart says, in my opinion, Jake is paying for names like collecting their soul in a different type of sacrifice. Collecting whatever success they have left in their careers. April 55 saying he blamed the Douglas loss on hookers and blow the night before. Well, I believe... Okay, so... I remember reading about this in his book a little bit, as well as from Rooney. But I mean, everything about his trial, too, that sham trial, and his conviction and his time in prison was all obviously BS. But yeah, apparently he really wasn't training for the Douglas fight. There's also rumors about betting situations and etc. So in at the end of '88, that's when Tyson left his longtime manager Bill Caton and fired Kevin Rooney, who had the same training methods as Cus D'Amato. Kevin Rooney was basically handed the torch by D'Amato. Kevin Rooney was with Tyson on his way up. He knew Tyson and all the training that needed to be done. And you could actually kind of tell once Rooney's no longer in his corner, Tyson's boxing skills deteriorate. Now, they don't deteriorate completely black and white. I mean, the muscle memory's all there. I mean, he still looks good now. I mean, look at this training footage. But in terms of what he once was, you can see the deterioration. Because he only had so basically, after he left Rooney, so he never lost the fight with Rooney in his corner. And then he also beat Bruno and Carl Williams without Rooney. And then Buster Douglas was also without Rooney. So again, that's not his original team. And for some reason, so many people think that doesn't matter. It's weird. It's like, do they know nothing about sports? I mean, not just boxing, but any sport. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Okay, see you next time, AJ Forever. Mark Collins says Jake will have to fight someone his age and his weight, or no one will watch it. Miss Chicago says Tyson's legs look like pirate peg legs. Like, yeah, the issue was his legs. Like, his punches looked good, his head movement was decent, but he just couldn't move around Paul. He couldn't get on the inside. Not just it was almost like he was trying to get inside in straight lines instead of around the side, like he did his whole career. And even here in the training footage, like his legs look okay. You know, not fantastic, not like in his prime, but they look adequate to get the job done. But that's not what we saw in the fight. So let's look at the fight now. Yeah, I mean, his legs look okay. So if this wasn't an Illuminati humiliation ritual, or maybe it was an attempted ritual, but it didn't play out the way people thought, is it possible? So is it possible this was some kind of Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan situation where somebody batoned Tyson in a hallway in his injured knee to make the injury much worse? Is that what happened here? Yeah, I don't think I want to watch that. At what point did that happen, Run Boston Bear? Because thankfully I didn't see it, but... When did that happen? Oh, Miss Chicago says Netflix accidentally showed him backstage getting ready. So it was before the fight? Okay. Yeah, I don't need to watch that, but Yeah, I did not see that. I probably only saw once they started walking out. Okay, so again, in training he looks pretty decent here. His legs look okay. And now let's see what happened during the fight. He was kind of slow and plodding. So let's see here. See? I mean, where's the movement? I mean, there's just steps. Like, where's the side to side? It's like he can only move forward and back. I mean, again, like, let's play these clips side by side just so everybody can see how huge of a difference here is. I mean, was this a Tanya Harding situation? Because I really don't know why. I mean, because it's easy to see the difference here. In his training, he can go side to side and around, but in the fight, it's like he can only go front, forward, and back. And look how slow he is. I mean, he's still clipping him. He's still clipping the youngin. And his head movement's still decent. And he shook that off like nothing. I mean, look at that. He really didn't even wobble, though. Look, he didn't lose his balance, really. Even when he got clipped. But look, there's no side to side. It's all forward and back. Now, here's another point I do want to make. Jake Paul actually did pretty good at managing distance. Like, he's definitely improving. He gets a lot of crap, but, I mean, this guy's definitely working on his skills. I mean, obviously nowhere near Tyson. But, yeah, his distance management was actually impressive, I have to say. I am by no means a Jake Paul fan in any way. But his distance management of Tyson was actually kind of impressive. It's actually kind of impressive. Lord Zed says, Mike is 58. Jake should be standing toe-to-toe in my opinion, but he's right. I mean, I don't know. If this isn't a fix, can you really blame Paul for not going toe-to-toe? I mean, like, he's still getting clipped. He's getting clipped by a Tyson without legs. I mean, think about that for a second. All the goofs who were trash-talking... I mean, I really... Even if this is fixed, I don't think he's taking those shots on purpose. I mean, you could say maybe he didn't try to finish Tyson because it was fixed. But I don't think he's taking those shots on purpose. Jay Edgerton saying, stage fight, ridiculous to treat this as real. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, look, Tyson's only going forward and back. Compare that to the training footage here. I mean, in the training footage, he's still capable of going side to side with his legs. But in the fight, for whatever reason, his knee seems to be really messed up. I mean, he's probably about half the speed that he exhibited in... I mean, look at this. He's plodding here. I mean, the head movement's decent, the arms are decent, but even on the defense, like, look at his legs. His legs looked completely gone, pretty much right off the bat. I mean, even here, look at this. He's so slow, and he can't move around. He's only going forward and back. Now, Paul doesn't have crazy power. Now, he let him off the hook. I mean, I don't know. Look, Tyson still looks pretty dangerous. If the fight was real, I think Paul was just really scared of getting caught with, like, a really big shot. Truth Trollette saying he was scared of getting a full-on blow. Distance was the only strategy he had, in my opinion. Yeah, Truth Trollette, if the fight was real, then yes. I think Tyson might have played a little possum, like, even there, look. Like, I don't think that punch did that much damage. It's almost like he was trying to lure Jake in a little. Because, I mean, that was decent. But look, even right after that punch, look, it's almost like he was afraid his legs would give out. Like, let's look at this. Look at this here. He gets kind of hit. It looks like he maybe played possum a little there. Paul didn't fall for it too much. Here, look at that shot. Nice. And here, look at his legs. Look at how he moved there. It looks like he's terrified of his legs giving out. I mean, look at that. Look at the stance here. It looks like he's terrified that his knee might give out. I mean, very plotting. I mean, you could say he's 58 all day, but again, look at the training. I mean, just look at the training footage here. 58 or not, when he, like, with fully functional legs here, I mean, he looks pretty impressive. He doesn't look like he's afraid his knee's gonna give out in training, but he looks absolutely terrified it's gonna give out in the fight. Because even when he's going on the defensive, it's like, I mean, that's the best leg movement he's had the entire fight, right there in that clip right here. Right here in the 7th. That's the most he's done. And even that was absolutely nothing compared to training. I mean, he's just going front and back. He's not going side to side as he's coming in. I mean, that's his bread and butter. Look at that. He just went straight instead of going in from the side. I mean, his whole career is coming in from the side. And he's still landing on the 27-year-old. This is getting crazy. Big Pine Sailing says, yeah, I saw it, unfortunately. I think it's got to be considered in addition to the actual fight performance if we're questioning things. Okay. Flat Bob says, in my opinion, Tyson didn't even try. I think the whole fight was staged in a cash grab. Jay says, Masonic ritual. AJ Forever saying, imagine the Onion owners thinking that buying InfoWars would stop Alex Jones. That's like the goofs at Project Veritas thinking they could get rid of O'Keefe. Okay, yeah, we got to get into that as well. Dewart says no leg. Yeah, he had no legs the entire fight before he even got hit a single time by Paul. That's the problem. And again, compared to the training footage, he's got his legs in training. He doesn't have them in the fight. It almost looks like he's scared his knee is going to give out. That's what I'm seeing. It doesn't look like he's too bothered by the punches. He's still landing on Paul. Pretty easily, actually. I mean, the training Tyson would have never taken these shots here. I mean, his head movement is too good. Look, it's like he was scared his legs were going to give out, so he took that shot. The only reason he's taking these shots here, it looks like he's really afraid to move, to bob and weave efficiently. Like, look at his legs here. And, I mean, he's still got some kind of gas. It doesn't look like he gassed out. It looks like he's just terrified his knee's gonna give out. And then they end the fight here. But from the very beginning, he has no legs. Look at that. He's only going front and back. He's not going side to side. Carlos says, why is Tyson giving little nods before Paul throws his punches? Yeah, no, he's just twitching in anticipation to move his head, watch. Because he does that when he doesn't get hit either, also. I mean, a lot of it's just muscle memory. He's so used, see? Nod, nod, and he still didn't get hit. That's just anticipation. Ooh, that was a nice one. I mean, even with no legs, look what Tyson is doing with no legs. Big Pine Sailing says, interesting Kerrigan theory. Well, again, look at this training footage. He's got his legs in training, even with the knee brace. Look at that. There's no fear of it giving out. Where was this confidence and strength? It was nowhere in the fight. So, yeah, there might have been some kind of Kerrigan situation. Alright, is there anything else anybody wants to discuss with this fight? Because I'm not 100% sold that it was definitely an Illuminati humiliation ritual. Maybe Netflix was doing it without Tyson in on it. Now, if Tyson needed the money that badly, if there was a serious knee injury, would he not report it? Like, let's say somebody did clip his knee, and he still wanted the payday. Would he still go in there and fight like a warrior? I mean, I don't know. AJ Forever says, it was fixed, let's move on, it wasn't on the level. I'm not 100% sold on that. Like, I actually thought it would be more, if it were fixed, I thought it'd be more obvious than this. Because this is not super obvious. Because just as easily, it seems like Paul could have just been scared. I mean, if he's taken these kinds of shots from a Tyson with no legs, he might have been absolutely terrified of going toe-to-toe. So he just used the range, and since Tyson had no legs, he was able to do that. Because if Tyson had his legs, it wouldn't matter what Paul tried to do with the range. Carlos saying, that sounds like a fallacy, Bruce. Is it? Well, I'm not making a claim, so it's not a fallacy. I'm not claiming whether it was fixed or not fixed because of X reason. I'm examining several mutually exclusive theories, as always. Truth Trollette says, BPS, did Jake do a crypto scam too? Because I know his brother did, or were they both in on it? You know what's kind of hilarious? After the fight, when Tyson said he wanted to fight Logan Paul, Logan, the non-professional boxer, said, I would kill you, Mike. When his brother, his much bigger, way better trained brother, couldn't do anything to a Tyson with no legs, Logan thinks he's going to do something. That was funny. And Logan actually looked serious about it. Do you guys want to see that? Should we logically examine that? Should we logically examine that? I think we should. I think we owe it to the MINDSHOCK listeners. Let's go over that, because I thought that was absolutely hilarious. We could also examine Tyson's facial expressions after this fight. I don't know. I think it might be some kind of Nancy Kerrigan situation, and Tyson wanted the payday, so he went through with the fight anyway. And I'm not 100% Jake Paul would have been in on that. Whatever powers that be at Netflix may have been, I don't know. What does everybody think about that? Mark Collins says Logan is playing on his WWE character. Truth Trollette says they are both egotistical, prideful, and arrogant. Yeah, but at least Jake Paul has some kind of ring time to back it up slightly, whereas Logan doesn't. Christopher Allen says that will be the next cash grab Mike and Logan fight. Oh, man. Yeah, Logan Paul's a weirdo. I don't know how else to phrase that. Jake Paul is less of a weirdo than Logan Paul. I think I can say that. Alright, let's look at this clip from the post-fight, because I just found this absolutely hilarious.
Congratulations. Congratulations on him. I want to go back and forth.
Shift in the world.
That's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, man. This guy's always had his coaches. Amr, Billy White.
It depends on the situation.
What does your gut say right now? Is this possibly the last time for you?
I don't think so.
You've got more in you. Who comes to mind?
Well, I don't know. Maybe his brother.
You want to fight Logan? Logan, I think he said you might be next.
Motherfucker, I'll kill you, Mike.
I mean, that's kind of hilarious that this skinny goof said that with a straight face. So his brother, the professional, the bigger, stronger, actually somewhat trained professional fighter, couldn't even take out a Tyson with no legs. And this goof is gonna kill him? I mean, even his brother thinks that's hilarious. Oh, Jay Edgerton says he would, though. Mike's done. I mean, well, Mike with no legs was still landing almost like easily on Jake, who's actually trained. I mean, what did Logan Paul? Logan Paul might have done some kind of wrestling in high school. I remember something being said about some kind of wrestling ability, or he played baseball. What did he do? So Logan's 29. So he's signed to the WWE. So he fought KSI and of course that Mayweather fight. So he doesn't have zero boxing experience, but so he fought KSI twice. And he also fought some guy, Dennis, in 2023. Wait, that was boxing? Or what was that? Dylan Dennis, who was making fun of his fiance. Why do I not remember this fight at all? I do not remember this fight at all. Oh, wow. Logan looks even worse than his brother. I'm just watching the highlights of the Dylan Dennis fight. Just sloppy haymakers. Terrible footwork. And he's just really scrawny and lanky. Wait, what the heck happened at the end of the fight? He's punching Dennis while he's down on the ground. Wow. That went crazy. Wait, so what was the official ruling here? Huh. That was crazy. Is that a DQ? Yeah, that's a... Wait, that's a DQ loss for Dennis? That's weird. Okay, well, anyway. So Logan Paul has a little bit of ring time, but he's clearly not a trained boxer. So he's 6'2", 205 pounds. So he's not even really a heavyweight. And he's gonna kill Mike Tyson. I mean, I don't know. Look at the delusion on his face. Like, it's first it's confusion, then it's delusion. Look at the confusion here. And then how quickly the confusion turns to delusion. I mean, look at the delusion all over his face. Does he even believe it? So the boxer couldn't get the job done against a Tyson with no legs, and Tyson still landed a bunch of shots on him with no legs. And yet this goof's gonna do something. I mean, why don't they do it bare knuckle? Logan might not leave that ring alive if they do it bare knuckle. And if Tyson actually has legs, 58 years old or not, if he doesn't have a knee injury, or in fear for his legs giving out. I mean, look at this goof, Logan Paul. I mean, look at the goofery here. AJ Forever says, it's all about the money. These guys are clowns preying upon a legend who needs cash. Well, that legend did pretty good with no legs. I mean, if you factor... I mean, forget his age. I mean, a young fighter with no legs, I mean, that's tough. Verite Hunt saying, there's something shady going on with the sun. There's vids out, they blocked the sun. Also, the constellation of stars changed lately. I'm not joking. There have been videos like that for at least 2 years now. Hold on. Before we get to that, Justin Johnson says, late here, but got a tardy pass from the principal's office. Mark Collins says, Logan boxed Floyd. I don't know if you'd call that boxing, though. I mean, a lot of people trashed McGregor, but McGregor actually put on somewhat of a performance. That, the Logan Floyd fight was just kind of sad, with Floyd carrying him. Dewart says Logan was dead serious. Let him do it, bare knuckle. Let him do it, bare knuckle. Who thinks Tyson with no legs would have still beaten Jake bare knuckle? Let's do a poll here. Would Tyson have beaten Paul bare knuckle last night? Wow, so far it's 88% yes. I think he would have, even with no legs. Even with no legs. I mean, just the speed increase and the amount of punches that would have slipped. I mean, he already slipped, even with those giant gloves. Tyson, with no legs, still slipped through shots. I mean, not even necessarily bare knuckle. With 4-ouncers or MMA gloves. Okay, currently stands at 77% yes, 8% no, 15% too triggered to answer. Can't blame those individuals. I'll leave the poll up for another minute just so everybody gets a chance to vote here. I mean, who thinks Logan would even get out of the first round? I think even Tyson with no legs. I mean, because Jake's actually kind of built. I mean, steroids or not, I mean, this guy's built up a little bit. He can take some shots. Who thinks Logan would... I mean, look at this frail, slender, skinny-necked Logan Paul. Who thinks he could take even one shot to the head from even a Tyson with no legs? AJ Forever says, last night was like a top 500 high school sprinter beating Michael Johnson in a 100-meter dash. It proved nothing. I don't know. I think Jake Paul might be higher than top 500. I mean, I don't know how high he actually is, but I mean, he has the money to really train so seriously. I mean, that could really put him... That could really put him in the top 100 easily, I think. Maybe top 50. Maybe top 50. Who thinks it's not that crazy that Jake Paul could be a top 50 boxer in his division? Dave Bagatka in the house here. The gloves were obscenely big. Yes, they were, weren't they? Okay, the final toll here, 83% say yes, 6% say no. Tyson would have beaten him bare knuckle last night. Carlos says, if it was staged, I find it sad that Tyson would stain his record integrity like that. Here's the thing. I'm not sure he was in on it, even if it was fixed or staged. They might not have told him. Because, yeah, it is kind of weird. If you've watched all his interviews throughout the years, he is so candid and honest. It does stretch credulity to think that he would take part in this, even for money. Even for a large sum of money. So if it's all staged, they might have not let him know that. Yeah, Lord Zed says Logan is an easy win. Yeah, I mean, I don't, even if Tyson has no legs, like he just did, I don't see how Logan can win. Logan is terrible. People think Jake is bad. I mean, Logan Paul has virtually no boxing ability. I mean, he just looks so awkward in there. Like, Jake Paul doesn't look super athletic, but he's deceptive. I mean, he has some really high-level trainers really teaching him the tricks of the trade and technique. I mean, he's still not that good, but he has some kind of fundamentals a little bit. some kind of technique going. Recently, not in his first fights, but now he does. And Logan has none of that. And he's just too skinny, and he's too skinny. I mean, he has no muscle. Mark Collins says Logan won the United Championships in the WWE. I'm sure that's going to carry over. I mean, do people not know that Mike Tyson wrecked people in the WWE? Did people not know that? Y'all must have forgot. All right, hold on. Let's watch Tyson knocking out WWE champs in the WWE. For those that forgot, Tyson is no stranger to pro wrestling. You know who was cool? Dennis Rodman in WCW was kind of awesome. Who remembers Dennis Rodman? Part of the NWO, the New World Order, in the WWE, WCW. Check this clip out here. Fair use, of course. Ton of fair use here. Nothing but fair use here. We got so much fair use up in here. Look at all this fair use. Knockout. Nothing but fair use here. Mark Collins says Logan talking about boxing Floyd on Andrew Schultz podcast was hilarious. Yeah, I don't think I saw that. April says the Pauls are poster children for the digital era. God bless them, but I can't stomach them. I don't know. Jake seems half decent. Logan is insufferable, but Jake actually doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I can kind of stomach him. Logan, not really. Justin says, do you think the Paul brothers are monarch programmed? Okay. Now we got some MINDSHOCK questions here. I remember reading something weird about the Paul's parents. So he's from Ohio. His father was a realtor. So raised in Westlake. So he started his YouTube channel Zoosh when he was 10 years old. Attended Westlake High School, named Plain Dealers All-Star Football Linebacker in 2012. Qualified for the state level Ohio High School Athletic Association 2013 Division I Wrestling Individual Championship. This is Logan. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I think a lot of these new YouTube personalities definitely are. I'm not 100% sure about the Pauls. If they're, I mean, who knows what happened after they moved to LA, though. So if you're asking as children in Ohio, maybe not. But then they moved to LA. And they basically moved into an apartment complex with other Vine stars. So the whole Vine thing, do it for the Vine, if people remember that. So, yeah, once they moved to LA, all bets are off. As far as if they were programmed as children in Ohio, I don't know. I forgot that there was one video about their father possibly having some kind of connection somewhere. Apparently, according to the wiki, he's just a real estate agent. no military connections or anything like that, but who knows? Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that might have been too early. I think maybe the stars, the so-called social media stars that came after them, possibly a lot more going on in a younger age. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if anybody's dug deep into the parents' background. I remember vaguely seeing some kind of video about it. So apparently Greg Paul is a realtor and American roofing expert. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they have other family connections other than their parents to some kind of military. I don't see anything super red flaggish from what I can see here. Once they moved to LA and started interacting with, you know, management and all of this other stuff, who knows what happened there. But as kids in Ohio, I don't know. I wonder if any of their childhood friends have done interviews. I haven't seen any, but I haven't specifically looked for them. Does anybody know? That's a good question. Bus Drummer says, YouTube, the dark side of Jake Paul explains all this. Explains what? Muhammad says, Mike has also recently been healing with mushrooms. He does go hard, somewhat of a connoisseur. So he had been in staging events. Nice. I think, didn't Shawn Michaels say that Tyson actually punched him for real? I forgot. Like, I don't remember what happened there. I think he said he punched him for real. I mean, we could slow it down, see what's, let's see here. Oh, that's a bad angle. We're not going to be able to tell from that angle. I think he hit him for real. Let's see if I can find another angle. Okay, I have another angle here. Let's see what we can see here. That looked kind of real to me. I mean, just how fast Michaels went down. I mean, that's kind of crazy. He might have not seen that punch coming. Tyson threw kind of fast. That might have been... I think that was his head moving literally from the fist. Yeah, I don't think he had time to fake that. Yeah, it was so fast. That might have been real, people. That might have been real. Heracles says he did have an Adult Swim show, Mike Tyson Mysteries. Wait, did he have more than one show? I'm trying to remember. I guess not. It was just Mike Tyson Mysteries? Huh, I thought he had another one. Guess not. Can someone summarize the dark side of Jake Paul here? What did that go over? Bus Drummer says he ran a Diddy mansion in Team 10, equipped with torture rooms, extortion, Bitcoin, money laundering, blackmail, and tunnels under the house. Wait, what? What? Ivan Mecton says Tyson's ulcer operation could also have been a factor. He just looked so good in training, though. And that Tyson did not show up for the fight. So that's kind of weird. Bus Drummer says Tyson's family was threatened by the Mexican cartel. That's why Tyson followed the script. Yeah, I guess if there was some kind of situation like that, perhaps that could get him to do it. Mark Collins says, I think Sean said he hit him for real. Yeah, that's what I remember reading, and just looking from the reaction here, it looked like Michaels didn't even have a chance to fake reacting. Because Tyson's punch was so fast. Justin Water says, what talent do the Paul brothers actually possess? They're poor actors, unfunny, suddenly decide to be fighters. Some conglomerate has to be pushing them to prominence. Well, Jake actually took some of the training seriously. I mean, he's actually... I mean, I don't want to... Obviously, he's not great or anything, but he has some kind of fundamentals. Truth Trollette says, I haven't seen the video on Jake's dark side yet. I don't care for Shane Dawson. Let me skip through the video. And then we'll get to Nietzsche and some of these philosophers, and then we'll circle back to Johnny Bones Jones. Okay, so that was Shane Dawson's video. Interesting. Yeah, now Shane Dawson, I mean, that would be an interesting deep dive. I mean, it's mostly just them talking. I don't see any actual footage. PewDiePie did a video, Dark Side of Shane Dawson. That's funny. Okay. PewDiePie's another one that could do a deep... I mean, some of these YouTubers, yeah, it's kind of weird. Muhammad Osman, always loved MindShock and Bruce. My knowledge and vocabulary have increased. Thank you, and your base seems to be a most intriguing group. Kind of cool to y'all. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I am Ion's Cat in here. I heard Tyson's contract specified he would make substantially less money if he knocked out Paul in the first 2 rounds, and would make the most money if it went 8 rounds. That's interesting. I'm still not sure. I don't think he faked having no legs, though. It was... I mean, the whole fight, I mean, it was weird for a whole bunch of reasons I didn't think it would be weird for.